get ready to get tuned in to Talks with D.Blaze and your girl, Miya Janae. In 5, 4, 3, 2. You're watching Talks with D.Blaze and Miya Janae. And today, D.Blaze decided to step off for a little while to give the ladies a chance to talk to you guys. Today, we're going to jump right into it. We're going to talk about depression. Depression and basically the signs.
What did you do? How did you help? Did you not help?
Hey, I got a couple people in my family, but we all got those people.
Yeah, we got those people. Yeah, friends, coworkers, all of them. We got them all.
Well, for one, how it's being viewed in the community, people just think that you're crazy.
What is your definition of depression?
Depression, I feel like when you're dealing with something, with emotions, and you don't really know how to deal with those emotions, whether it's anger, pain, you're afraid of something, you're indecisive, and then it's like you kind of keep it either bottled up, or you're basically showing out, whether it's aggressive, or you're hurting people, or you're hurting yourself. Mm-hmm. Those are different, and it's a lot more, but those are some of the typical signs of depression.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think depression is definitely something that is a issue with among our community, and they're not able to, like you said, deal with the certain emotions that they're come across with just life in general. Sometimes life is just really too hard, or someone could have lost someone, or it's not even just with death. It could be a friendship that could put them in a depression, in any relationship, a job, an opportunity.
Jobs that's a big one. People get up, they go to work, they get to work, they don't want to be there.
Nope.
And even though they're doing their daily routine, they get done with work, they go home, work was horrible, and depression starts to sink in. They feel like they're closed in.
Yeah, or they don't have, like, even just now with, the rates that some people are paid in certain positions, and then, everyone requires all this education now. They want people to have master's degrees, doctorates, and that is not free.
Stressful.
So, yeah.
Stress is another big cause.
It's like you're trying to pay off this debt, but how, when you're not even getting paid enough to live?
So your cost of living versus your debt, it's which one? Do you want to have a home, or do you want to be debt free?
But even then, you can't even get a home. You can't even get approved for a loan if your credit score isn't good. So, or even subpar. So you can't even make a living because you got all this debt that you're trying to pay off. But then your income, I mean, sometimes it's cool, but for the most part, most people have like a lot of debt for no reason. Well, it's the reason. It's school, but
school
still,
loans, car loans, business loans, house loans. You name it, it's there.
Pretty much.
And it's so easy to obtain these things, but it's really hard when it comes to dealing with the after effects, and that is usually depression. Somebody's depressed over something, even if it's something little. Everybody's struggling, everybody's battling with something. Have you ever experienced or dealt with depression in your life?
Yes, I have. I feel like there's different calibers of depression. Like in high school and stuff, you just get like, oh, I'm so depressed, and you think your life is so terrible in high school until you become an adult and have some real issues going on. So yeah, I've dealt with depression, but also depression actually runs through my family.
Same.
So, me recognizing that depression does run through my family, I have to be very careful. So I've always tried to be careful of like taking in other people's energies and things like that, because I know what would bring me down. So, yeah, so I've dealt with it before. I've dealt with it when I lost both my grandparents back to back. That was a trying time. So I did have my depressed days. I just have my ways of dealing with it to snap me out of it, or at least try to, at least. So yeah, I've dealt with it. I've seen people deal with it on more than one occasion. And a lot of times within our community, they're not very responsive to, maybe you need therapy.
Yeah, that's another big thing.
Everybody just want to say, let's pray on it.
That's another big thing in the community is that there's a stereotype that, only white people go and sit down in front of a therapist, and black people, we don't do that. You go to church.
You just go to church and pray on it and tell the pastor to lay some hands on it. Yeah. Lay it at the altar. Gotta lay it at the altar.
They'll put some holy water on you.
Yeah, like that ain't do nothing but waste some oil. Like, no.
It did, and it's just gonna make it even worse. It's gonna suppress it and make you feel like,
you don't need to talk about it.
Yeah, and he's gonna deal with it for me.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to talk things out, even if it doesn't solve the problem. Just venting and having a listening ear generally helps out a lot. But yeah, no, this within our community, like, so I've had, friends say, oh, that's a white thing, or I'm not sitting on nobody's couch
talking in front of nobody I don't know.
And
I
it's
don't
just
know them people.
Well, why not? Because you're talking to me, but I can't diagnose your problem.
But it's different because I know you. You're my friend.
Exactly, but I can't diagnose you with nothing. So also,
there's those people that they really don't even want help. They just want
to complain.
They're depressed and they just want your sympathy.
Pity, not sympathy. Pity. Yes, they want you to pity them. And woe is me. Like, I feel like everyone has problems, or everyone has some type of, hardship. I don't like when people say, well, at least it's not this, or at least it's not that, because it's kind of like, well, they're still going through something, and maybe they can't deal with that, or they're struggling to deal with that. But at the same time, it's like, you ain't the only one with issues either. Like, yeah, you may be going through this, but I'm going through this too. Like, Yeah. But they want you like, oh, well,
my situation is worse than yours.
Yeah, like, first of all, you don't know my life, right? So you don't know what else I got going on. Because a lot of times it's not even just, oh, dang, I stumped my toe today. But it's like, I stumped my toe, my car wouldn't start, then I got to work, my manager was on some bull, then I went to the grocery store and this bitch then bumped her car into the back of my heels and didn't apologize, and she expected me to. So it's like, a lot of times it's not even just the one thing. It's like a lot of things. That's, I think, where the depression comes in, because you got all these
if it's
issues,
not work or friend or family related.
Yeah, it's like all these issues that are stacked up on each other. Yeah. And it's like, if you become overwhelmed with emotion, like, you just have all these emotions going on and you just don't know how to deal with them.
You don't have an outlet for them. And some people think that an outlet could be drinking or smoking. It's like, that only pacifies the situation. It's not going to help.
Well, for one, drinking is not going to help anything, because you're adding a depressant to your depression. Like,
it's the worst.
No, you just made yourself more depressed. Sorry. You think you having a good time, but deep down,
you
you're
hear when
really
they
not.
say they drank themselves to death or she smoked her, 10 packs of cigarettes a day. It's true. Some people are really addicted to the nicotine, and it's because I'm depressed, I need to go smoke, or I need to
feel
drink.
that's their only coping mechanism.
It's not
that
going
they
to help.
can
Or they
have.
want to fight, so
they're
you're
aggressive,
in jail, and it's not going to help because they don't care about you in there. Or you're going to end up dead. Like, it's not good. It's not healthy.
Right. Have you ever dealt with depression or someone that
dealt with depression, which was typical depression of feeling like overwhelmed, stressed. Some days I wouldn't want to really be bothered. Like if I get really, really down low, people know because I'm not answering the phone, I'm not responding to text. I really don't want to be bothered. I most likely just want to sleep all day. Like I don't want anybody to deal with me because everything that is wrong is going through my mind. Yeah. And I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do I go about fixing this, getting away from this, and your outlet, like you know that's not a good place to be in. So it comes down to how do you go about dealing with it. And like we've said before, people in the community, you going to talk to somebody, it's laughable. They're laughing at you. Oh, you're really fucked up in the head. No, you're not.
Like, why are you going to therapy? Black people don't go to therapy.
Yeah.
What this black motherfucker do?
Some people are scared to go to therapy just because of what others will say if they find out that they're going.
Yeah.
Like, and nobody knows what you're going for. Who cares?
Right. That's true. They get labeled as crazy, or even, they don't trust the psychiatrist.
Confidentiality. They don't trust that.
Well, not even just that, because they feel that there aren't enough black people in those roles. Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, if I go to this white person, they're not going to understand me being a black person, which that is completely understandable, and I do get that. But at the same time, it's just like, sometimes you still need that extra person to talk to that doesn't have any biases that are amongst your family and friends. But I do understand the whole trust, because it was a point in time that I was looking for a therapist, and I was Googling black therapists near me because I want them to understand what I have to go through. Yeah, like
if they're from your background, like where you grew up in, they know the struggle, then you feel like they can relate more versus somebody who just has a degree but they're not from
but you can't. You don't understand me as a black woman. But also I have to take out, okay, well, maybe I should just look for a woman, because it is harder in my area where I was, there weren't any black women therapists. There were a black man. It was like 2. But it's just like, okay, so, well, maybe let me see as a woman, will they be able to understand me and what I'm going through as a woman? So I will say within our community, though, it is harder to try to get that help just because of the trust. Like, are you truly going to understand what I'm going through?
Or also judgment. Like, people feel like they go sit down and talk, and once they start talking, is this person judging me? Are they going to judge my struggle, what I've been through, why I feel the way I feel? Because they've never been. They don't even take that chance to go sit down for that first free session to even see how it feels. Yeah. They might drive there and sit outside, and all these thoughts get to rushing in their mind. They go back home. Yeah, true. They not going to do it. Yeah. I know people who have dealt with depression outside of myself, and theirs was worse than mine. Like, one little thing will go wrong in their day, and all of a sudden the whole day is fucked up. They can't do nothing. They can't function. They ready to just end it all, and you're just like, whoa, hold on, wait a minute. Like, what's wrong?
Like, what happened?
You burnt something on the stove? It's that, like, it's not even about deep? It's not even about them burning nothing on the stove. It's just all the shit that's been bottled up, and then they might be cooking breakfast for the kids, and then the shit just came out right there while they was cooking on the stove, and they burnt some shit, and it just, everything just, it's out of control now.
Pretty much. Yeah. No, for real though, like, that whole judge, and then too, like when you go and tell people, like I've told people, like, yeah, I'm looking for a therapist. Like, I know I need therapy. Like, I'm okay, but I'm not okay. And then they'll just be like,
yeah,
what you going to therapy for?
See, I've never gone as far to go to therapy. I just call my friends, my best friends, and I just talk to them
and figure some shit out.
And usually when I call, as soon as I'm like, hey, what are you doing? They're like, what's wrong? And I'm like, well, you think something's wrong?
Because you're calling. What is going on? Are you okay?
Right. Like, I mean, but to each his own. Everybody has their own way of dealing with their depression. If you are able to address your depression, sometimes your depression is not that deep to where you have to go see a therapist, but at times when it is and you feel like no one understands you, you're talking to your best friend, you're talking to your mother or those people that you really trust and they don't understand it, then it's like, okay, it's time to go
branch out ideas on how I'm going to deal with it. But you know what's so crazy though is that a lot of people don't even realize that they're depressed, because actually I've heard of different levels of depression. Like, it's just the normal, like, oh, I'm just sad, I'm in the blues, da 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 da. But you generally can get up out of that. Yeah. Then there's the deep end where you're so depressed that you become a completely different person. You can become mute. You can become, just really, I mean, they would label it as like you have multiple personalities, but it's like you got those multiple personalities because you fell deep into depression. And I actually just learned about that because I know someone whose sister dealt with that. And they thought that she had, they misdiagnosed her and thought that she just was schizophrenic or had multiple personalities when that wasn't even it. She was depressed. She fell so deep into depression that she became these characters just because she was depressed. And it's like, oh my, that's crazy. Deep. Yeah, that's deep. I didn't even know depression went that deep. Like, where did that even, how? Like, but then if you think about it, depending on, like, if you really been like deep in depression and it was hard for you to come out of it, but then you think about it like, okay, well, maybe I need to put on a face, and you put on a face and put on a character. Yes. And that wasn't who she truly was. It was just her coping mechanism on, well, I'm really sad, but I don't want people to see my sadness. Yeah. But you put on this face, but one small thing, and you got this big old mood swing, and you angry, like, whoa, where did this person come from? Who is this? But it's just like, you're just depressed, and that's how you deal with it. So
we also need to talk about the medicine that some of these people get prescribed. And it's like, they really need to be on all this medication? Or is this something that can potentially
self-healing?
Self-healing.
See, I have mixed reviews on that because I think some people need the medication. Okay. Depending on how deep, like, the scenario with the girl, and she had multiple personalities. Like, yeah, she needed to be on medicine because that chemical imbalance was way off. Okay. However, there are some calibers of depression that I think if people actually took the time to do some self-care and self-love, they will be able to get themselves out of it and become themselves again and become happy. And
they don't have to be dependent
and they don't have to be dependent on the medication. So it really just depends. Like, I don't like to subscribe to medication. However,
if it's necessary,
there are some people who need to take a pill to get their life together, and I am all for that. If that is what it takes for you to get your life together, please do it. But
Yeah.
it just
makes
depends.
me think about like when somebody is just wanting to, those people who want that pity, that are just diagnosed because they want the pity to say, oh, I have to take this because I'm depressed. And you can get dependent on drugs. Like, that's real life.
For sure.
Depression drugs, that's one of the highest outside of other medications. People are depressed and they're taking all this stuff and
medications and
now they're dependent on it. If they don't get it, all of a sudden they're acting out, but it's not even something that was within their diagnosis. It's like, now, oh, if I don't get this drug, you know, I'm gonna go crazy. And it's like, you weren't crazy before this drug, not like that.
Yeah.
So
do you think that it's best for people? So basically you feel that people should get medication. However, they should get medication to get off the medication, not to have a continuous lifetime use of it. Like we said, that chemical imbalance, maybe there is something that they can take to help regain that balance. And then as they're still talking with their therapist or whoever it is they're talking with, it's like, okay, let's start to reduce the dosage because you are coming into a self-healing. Let's start to get you off the medication. We don't want this medication to be no life term. Right.
If they need it, yes. But if not, and it's just there to help get over, then okay, then let's start to wean you off of it. And you also got meditation. People go to other areas of healing. I meditate myself when I can. I love listening to really relaxing frequencies and music, and even the affirmations that they're talking, and that's a self-healing. And it's a lot of people out there that meditate. That's another way to help, even if it's like 15-20 minutes, up to a half hour out of your day, to where you just need to take time for yourself. That might just be enough to relieve you of your stress and that depression that you feel. Just to figure out, okay, let me clear my mind from everything. And then it helps you just redirect yourself. Like, what path do I want to go in? Is this really what I want in my life? Right. That can be a healing for your self-healing.
Yeah, true. No, I agree. I know, like, even meditation is cool. However, for me, sometimes it's really hard just because I have like 50 million things going on in my head. And just to clear my mind, like, I think the only time that I actually clear my mind is when I'm in the shower.
Okay. Well, that could be your self.
Yeah, like in the shower. And I'll have like my aromatherapy from Bath and Body Works. Shout out to Bath and Body Works. Candles lit.
Love
and have the lights off. Have my shower playlist going on just to. Whew. But then it's like I'm not really meditating because I'm not trying to think about, okay, what path am I going? No, I'm just trying to wash off the day. Yeah. However, I do I actually have a coworker every time at 11:11. She'd be like, 11:11, make a wish. And instead of me making a wish, I'll say a minute prayer. Like, basically, and do some affirmation of release positivity through me as I receive positivity. Please give me like a peace of heart, peace of mind. And that's kind of like how I can deal with it, especially if I'm having like a really trying day or something, or like the day before and I really didn't relax or anything and I woke up just with a lot on my mind. I try to, just get that send the positive energy, let me receive it, let me give it, like, because I'm all about what you put in is what you get
out.
So it's just like, sometimes just like a little, even though the whole just pray on it, I don't fully subscribe to just praying on it, because you got to pray and work. You can't just pray and keep it moving. No, you got to pray and work and put in some work. So it's like I pray, but it's like, what am I doing after I pray? Okay, so I am going to try to be positive. I am going to try to, I mean, being positive can go a long way anyway in just your day in general. And then it's like, okay, do I really do I need to write in my journal just to get my thoughts and feelings out? Do I need to really go to a therapist? That's where you really need to start figuring out after, if you just gonna pray on it, I think.
So whether it's meditating or getting in the shower, relaxing in the tub, going on a walk, going for a jog to the gym, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, I like to go to the gym to release some stress.
Try it first before seeking out that
medication
or that counseling. Because it might work.
Now, what do you think about, because now we live in a day and age where we like to go to the doctor for everything. And now they're giving out comfort pets.
I've heard about the comfort pets.
And I get it, because pets, they, especially like a dog will always love you.
Man's best friend.
Yeah, they will always love you. And I get how a pet is very soothing. I personally haven't had a pet live with me. I mean, my mom had a dog, and I've been around people that do have pets, and I do know how soothing and loving they are. However, I don't think I can go to work and be like, oh, this is my comfort dog. They're going to be like, hey, you're going to take your comfort dog back to the house. And yeah, you come back once you drop that shit off. You're not bringing it back here so we can work. So it's just like, what do you think? Do you think more job opportunities should allow, depending on, the stress level, or do you think it's bullshit? Or
comfort dog? So when I think of a comfort dog, I kind of think of like a service dog. I've heard of the comfort dogs when it comes to flying, and now I know that they're about to change the rules with the comfort dogs when it comes to flying, because they've had a lot of issues with that. Animals not being properly trained, and they're, being aggressive or not cooperating when you make them want to sit, and they're not doing it. With the service dogs, they're trained, but then also they're very friendly. You can come up and touch them. I've heard supposedly. I've heard of comfort dogs also being in the courtroom when it comes to a victim speaking and getting on the stand. It makes them more comfortable because they'll sit the dog. They've spent time with the dog outside the courtroom, and then they'll bring the dog in the courtroom while the victim is giving their testimony, and they will sit the dog right in front of the podium, so they feel like they are talking to the dog, that they're telling the dog their secrets, and the dog is not going to go tell anybody else, so it makes them more comfortable for them to look at the animal versus all the people in the room to tell their testimony. As far as work, it just depends on the animal and how well the animal is trained and how well behaved the animal is trained. I've had dogs all my life, little to big, and I had a Cocker Spaniel. That was my baby, and I loved him. I loved even going somewhere, taking him or whatever. I just loved him. So, I mean, not taking him to where he's bad as hell. As far as other people bringing their animals, if your animal is well trained, he not gonna, we can get our work done. He go off in the corner, go lay down or something, and then he know to come up. He might put his head in your lap, and you can pet him, and then he'll go away, do his little thing. That's cool with me. That's comfortable. That's a little animal attention at work never hurts. But if the animal is bad as hell and it is not behaving, it's tearing up shit, no, go home. Bye.
Well, see, even at my job, they don't do it consistently, even though I think they're starting to. We had a little test run, and basically they brought foster dogs in, baby, little puppies, and on our lunch and breaks, they'll be in the little area, and on our break we can pet them and play with them and stuff like that. And it's just I like that. idea just because it is kind of soothing, but then it's like, well, I want to bring it back to my desk. But
it makes you get the puppy fever.
So it's just like, no, I think I would, me personally, I think I would just prefer to have my dog at home. That way, when I was done with the stress, I can come home to my comfort dog. Yeah. But as far as other people having them, I think I like the idea of it. I just don't know.
And it kind of makes sense if you are having such a stressful day. It's like, oh yeah, the comfort dogs are here. I'm just not in the mood today. And you go see the dog and you pet the dog and the dog's, you know, friendly with you. And then you're like, you know what? I
piss on your fucking foot and you be mad as hell.
I feel like she's had a bad experience with a comfort dog.
Until that dog or you, it's all comforting until you get a little drip on that lap and then you mad. No more comfort dog. The dog didn't piss you the fuck off. You see the dilemma. You see.
There is a dilemma. But talking about depression in comfort dogs, I think that it could help, especially if it's really little children, even adults too, but especially for the children when it comes to having a comfort pet. Kids really don't know how to deal with emotions, and they're very shy on telling somebody what they're thinking about and what's going through their mind. But having a comfort dog and having somebody there to be like, you know, you can open his ear and tell him your secrets and he's not going to tell anyone, it can really help a child release what the stress that they're going through. I seen, it was a little girl she had such a really, really rough life, and they sent her away to like a retreat, and on this retreat it was a ranch and there were horses, and she was one of the first little girls to do this on the retreat. None of the kids did. Like, they had counselors that they would talk to, but then they would spend time with the animals. They would get up early in the morning and go, you know, play with the animals and stuff and feed them, but they didn't get that close as the little girl got. And she would go up to the horse. It was one horse in particular. She would talk in the horse's ear, and it really helped her get through her depression and her pain out. And I think it was about 6 months later, something like that, she ended up going home, and she's good today. She's a full adult. She was just like, wow, like, I don't really remember what I was even really depressed over, but I just remember that horse, and I remember it helping me. Yeah. Just looking at his eyes and being able to talk to it, I just felt like it couldn't hurt me the way I was being hurt, and it wouldn't tell anyone what I was going through.
See, I have mixed feelings on that because I mean, I'm no parent. However, I feel like when I do have children, and if my child was depressed and they were telling their secrets to the dog, but not speaking into someone that can actually potentially fix the problem, because depression is like, there's a problem. So it's like, if you don't ever fix the problem, you're always gonna have that problem. But I feel like if my child, like, I don't mind having a dog for comfort and, you know, what have you. However, at the end of the day, you need to talk to somebody, because something happened to where now you're depressed. And as a parent, I feel like you will want to fix that. And having your child talk to animals isn't going to fix the problem. Like, it's not going to fix anything. It's just going to provide comfort, and that's it. So, and I feel like as a life lesson, me personally, I think I would want to teach my child that it's okay that you go through things. However, and you should speak or talk about your problems. However, when you talk about them, you need to also be able to fix your problems instead of just going around like, oh, I got this problem. Okay, are we going to fix it? Or are we just going to live with it? Or what? Like, what are we going to do? Like, no. Like, you need to, as I feel like as a functioning adult, you need to be able to identify your problem, talk about your problem, and fix your problem. And if some things are not fixable, and that's understandable, but you know, that's a learning process in itself too. Okay, not everything in life you can fix. However, this is what you can fix on either A, how to deal with it, or how to avoid it, if it's avoidable, whatever. So I have mixed reviews on that. I just don't think I'm gonna give my baby a dog and be like, talk to the doggy. No, talk to me, or we're gonna go to counseling and have you speak with someone that can, you know, get it out of you, or to see like what is the problem. Because even with the girl, how do they know something didn't happen to her? Like somebody didn't do something to her to where now she's not talking and she's going through something, and now she didn't suppress it and buried it, and now she's like, I don't know what it was, but she may not know that affects her in her day-to-day life, because even though she doesn't remember exactly what happened to her, some things trigger. And you have triggers and how you deal with people, and you know, how you communicate with people and things like that. And there's a lot of things that we go through as children that we don't realize as an adult that affects our day-to-day lives, our relationships, everything. So it's just like, well, we're not talking about it.
Wow, that's deep. That's really deep.
You see what I'm saying, though? Like,
that's really deep.
Yeah. You gotta talk it out.
Talk it out. Well, you are watching Talks with D.Blaze and Miya Janae and special guest
YURI B.
Let us know down in the comment box what you think about depression. Have you ever known anyone who was depressed? What did they do to fix the depression? What were the signs that you noticed? Did they go to counseling? Did they have a service dog? How do you feel about a service dog or a comfort dog? Let us know. Comment, like, and subscribe. And we will catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Heat in my vein like vernacular. Cook up the beat with a spatula. Y'all are not ready for action. I'm smoking these rappers and feeling spectacular. Making a killing like massacre. Watch out, I'm whipping my wrist. Right on my city, been pissed, but I show them love. I'm not the one that's at risk. My homie told me that when people rise up against you, it's a sign of your destiny real. Fake ones been hating, cause they know that one day you're making it. Jealousy's all they can feel. Plugging the full, drifting